All right, it is January 29th, and we are back to Chapter 7 in the Art of War, Maneuvering. Verse 1 and 2. Sun Tzu said, in war, the general receives his command from the sovereign. Verse 2. Having collected an army and concentrated his forces, he must blend and harmonize the different elements thereof before pitching his camp. Okay. Looks like we're starting from the very beginning. The war. In war, the general receives his command from the sovereign, so from the king. Having collected an army, so he gathers the army, he brings them together, concentrates the forces. Now it is time to blend and harmonize. So now he has to get everyone working together. Verse 3 talks about tactical maneuvering, and it gets a little bit longer. Let's jump over to an alternate translation. Um, Chapter 7, Armed Struggle. Instead of maneuvering, it's called Armed Struggle in the alternate translation. Li Quan says, struggle is pursuit of advantage. Once emptiness and fullness are determined, one may then struggle with others for advantage. Struggling with others. Okay. Pursuit of advantage. Wang Chi says, struggle means struggle for advantage. Those who get the advantages are thereby victorious. One should first determine whether to use light or heavy arms. Interesting. And assess whether to approach indirectly or directly, not allowing opponents to take advantage of one's toil. So when you're down and out, or when you're distracted, or when you're toiling and working for yourself, don't let something happen. Be careful. Watch yourself. Just grabbing a little more Randy tab. One of these little guys. Tab up the books. It's one of the things that helps. So, in the alternate translation, Master Sun says the ordinary rule for use of military force is for the military command to receive the orders from the civilian authorities. I like that distinction. Then to gather and mass the troops, quartering them together, housing them together. Nothing is harder than armed struggle. Zheng Yu says the fight with people face to face over to fight with people face to face over advantages is the hardest thing in the world. Zheng Yu just keeps it pretty high level, doesn't he? All right, so we've got a pretty good idea of what Sun Tzu is saying there about starting out, starting to prepare for war. Okay, January 29th out of the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Keep it simple. At every moment, keep a sturdy mind on the task at hand, as a Roman and human being, doing it with strict and simple dignity, affection, freedom, and justice. Simple affection, simple freedom, and simple justice. Giving yourself a break from all other considerations. You can do this if you approach each task as if it were your last. Giving up every distraction, emotional subversion of reason, and all drama, vanity, and complaint over your fair share. I think emotional subversion of reason is like anything that is rationalizing away your responsibility. You can see how mastery over a few things makes it possible to live an abundant and devout life. For if you keep watch over these things, the gods won't ask more. Marcus Aurelius Meditations 2.5. I would say there's a lot of correlations you can draw with just that line there. You can see how mastery over a few things makes it possible to live an abundant and devout life. First, I think that anyone knows the more you hone a skill, especially a skill that's needed, the more in demand you are. Right? The longer it takes, like right, just like a doctor or a lawyer, these are routes that are pretty strict and laid out of like this is the first step, this is the second step, but you are mastering a very small subset of things, and so that provides an abundant and devout life. I would say the correlation with Sun Tzu in the Art of War, the general, you are amassing an army of what, and it is your job to to intermingle those things, right? To mix them together to master your army. You're not controlling many armies; you have one. right? So master the few things. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Each day presents the chance to overthink things. What should I wear? Do they like me? Am I eating well enough? What's next for me in life? And is my boss happy with my work? Today, let's just focus on what's in front of us. We'll follow the dictum of that New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick gives his players: do your job. Like a Roman, like a soldier, like a good neighbor. No, I'm kidding. Like a master of our craft. We don't need to get lost in a thousand other distractions or in other people's business. Like a Roman, like a soldier, like a master of our craft. Okay. It doesn't matter. He's saying it doesn't matter who you are. Whatever it is you're doing, don't get lost in distractions and just do your job. Keep to the fundamentals. Marcus says to approach each task as if it were your last, because it very well could be. And even if it isn't, watching what's right in front of you doesn't help anything. Find clarity in the simplicity of doing your job today. Yeah, I think it's easy for humans to get a little crazy and out of hand with where they want to be. They get lost thinking about what and where they want to be in the future, where they were in the past, and whether or not they're winning. They're comparing themselves with all of this other stuff. But you're not doing yourself any favors by just sticking to the fundamentals and focusing on what's in front of you. And that's the hardest part, is keeping track of the boring